Hey, Gerard here. Welcome back to the channel, and we are back with another rack store pickup. But today is going to be a little different. Today we are jumping in the time machine. I'm going to take a look back at the first half of 2024, and I want to let you guys know what my favorite finds have been thus far this year. We're going to take a look at 6 fragrances. I'm actually ranking these, one being my favorite pickup of the year so far. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love doing these videos, and I will continue to do these videos. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you like what you see today, and drop a like. It truly helps my channel grow. But without further ado, let's jump into it with my best 6 finds of 2024. So here we have Spice Bomb, the original. And yeah, as I said, it's been a while since I've smelled this one. I'm a big fan of Spice Bomb Infrared, the EDT, and Spice Bomb Extreme. I like both of those fragrances. I own both of those. I do not own this. So, well, I guess I do now. Let's take a look at the atomizer. These have good atomizers on them. I've always liked the atomizer on the Spice Bombs. Okay, so yeah, in the air, it is not lying. It is very spicy. Man. Yeah, and this also has a clean vibe to it. So although it's super spicy, it has this aromatic, clean, almost brightness to it, which is unlike the others in the line, in my opinion. The OG definitely kind of sticks true to the aromatic fougere style, but super spicy. Yeah, the spice is just absolutely jumping off of my skin. But also has a freshness to it and almost like a little bit of a citrus, so that there's probably some bergamot or something in here. This one is really underrated in my opinion. I know all the others in the line get all the love. This one, I don't think gets talked about quite enough. It's fantastic. I can see this one getting a lot of positive attention. It almost has this, it may have even mandarin orange in here. I'm not sure of the notes. I'm going to take a look at them in a minute, but that sweet citrus up top that's ever so present, it's like kind of just in the background because the spice here is so prominent. It really balances things out. Has a slight creaminess to it, and this doesn't smell like everything else. It will remind you a bit of, I think, Bulgari Man in Black. However, the Bulgari has a much more prominent leather note to me, and it's a little darker. It also has a little more vanilla, but this one, it's kind of lacking that, which I like. I like that it's just hyper focused on the spice and those aromatics. This is really nice. I enjoy this one quite a bit. So the first one I want to take a look at is Bentley for Men Intense. And the reason why I didn't wear this one when I had it was because I think this type of scent profile just wasn't my thing. It is a very potent scent, my memory of it, very powerful, to the point where I would be wearing it and kind of felt like I needed to scrub it off. Now, whether or not my taste has changed since then remains to be seen, is part of the reason why I really want to give this second chance. So let's take a look at the atomizer. Pretty decent atomizer, nothing too crazy. Okay, so already I can tell you, smelling this is not as powerful or potent as I once thought it was. And that is probably a result of me having just a more experienced nose, and that I've tried far more fragrances that I guess are niche and a little harder to wear and a little more artistic. This to me is very pleasant right now in the air. It has a sweetness to it, beautiful boozy note, and a little bit of smoky wood. So let's see what it does off of skin. Yeah. Leather, Definitely a standout here. Leather, booze, smoky woods, really masculine, but also has an underlying sweetness to it. And I think maybe initially when I had first tried this, it was just a little bit too harsh, maybe not as smooth of a fragrance that I was probably used to. So, but this one, it's not going to give you those clean, fresh vibes. That's for sure. This is a masculine fragrance. It kind of checks all the boxes for masculinity, or what you would perceive as being a very masculine, manly fragrance. It's got the booziness. It has the smokiness. It has the leather, all of those things. So really, when I smell this, it's similar to something like a John Varvatos Dark Rebel, which is one of my favorite fragrances. Doesn't smell exactly like that one. That's not what I'm saying. It just, the scent profile is very similar to that. So this is one that I would imagine a guy, leather jacket, drinks hard liquor out of a glass, straight up, that type of thing. Very masculine, very manly. Obviously more ideal for cooler weather because it does have this sort of bitter, sharp edge to it that would really work well in the cold, in my opinion. So right now, first impressions, I'm really liking this one. And this is one that I've wanted to retry for a long time. And because it gets a ton of hype. It's one of the most talked about cheap fragrances on the market. And at one point, this was on every single list, every single top 10 cheapie list. This was near the top. So definitely a really nice fragrance on first impressions. So there you have the bottle. It's a gold bottle with this burgundy foil wrapping it, and there's some words on there. Basically, it's all the words I just read to you on the bottle itself, which is pretty cool. So there you go, Essence. I know it's a little hard to pick up with the light, but so let's take a look at the atomizer. So based on nice atomizer, based on what it said, it sounds like it's a vanilla-based fragrance. So let's see what this does. Okay. Wow, very floral in the air. I'm definitely picking up what smells like maybe a jasmine. Very floral. I am getting that vanilla as well, but very floral. A little feminine, if I'm being honest. My immediate sort of knee-jerk reaction and that is that this is feminine leaning. Fruity, floral, vanilla, some woods, a little smoky. I really like it. White florals. I'm not typically a fan of white florals only because they lean super feminine for me. They're one of the, there's other florals I really enjoy. Rose fragrances, depending on how it's used. I don't know. It just, for me, it's not super feminine if it's blended right with other notes. But this right here, although not typically my thing, I'm actually liking it. The vanilla is incredible. It's coming out a bit more. It smells super creamy, slightly powdery, but there's a resinous feel here as well. I'm trying to sort of get a sense of when I would wear this in terms of season. But for me right now, I think it's versatile. I think you could wear this pretty much year round just based on first impressions. Some of those florals are tapering off a bit and the vanilla is coming through more. This is unique. This is different. I'm not used to smelling. There's a fruitiness in here. So fruity, vanilla, florals. I don't know if this is marketed unisex or towards women. I'm not sure, but this is also powerful. This smells like it's gonna fill a room. Oh yeah, this is getting really good. A little more masculine. Initially, the first thing that jumped out at me were those white florals. Becoming much more tame now and reasonable. This is something I could wear 100%. right there. And got this reflective plate on the front, kind of this cool detailed on the cap. And then you have this sort of like a honeycomb back, which is pretty cool. So yeah, not bad. Let's check the atomizer. Not bad. Not great. Not bad either. Okay. Yeah. Already in the air, I'm picking up that YSLY DNA. Fruity, musky, a little bit woody, a little bit aquatic, really aromatic. It's also got hints of maybe like, I'm thinking what comes to mind really quickly is Abercrombie and Fitch's First Instinct Together, which is also a play on Invictus Aqua. So it's kind of a mix of the two. Off of skin, though, it's much closer to the YSLY, which I will be completely transparent. That is not my favorite scent. My favorite from the Y line is definitely Eau Fraiche. This one, I actually like more. Just on first spray and initial knee-jerk reaction, I like more than, not an Eau Fraiche, but of YSLY EDP. And I think because it doesn't have as much of that herbal sage, I want to say, that they use in YSLY EDP. I could be wrong. That top note of sage, that really aromatic herbal note, it's less here. It's still there. It's will remind you of that scent, but it's far less, which I kind of prefer because I think it's a little overwhelming in that fragrance for me personally. There's nothing groundbreaking here. It smells really good. I'm actually really pleased with the quality that I'm getting from this. It's going to be ideal for really hot weather. It's not too heavy. For some reason, I remember the last time I smelled YSLY EP, that one can be a little bit cloying on really warm days. It does have some density to it. This one doesn't smell like it has that same density, that same heaviness that fragrance has, the EDP. So in that respect, this is probably a bit closer to the EDT of Y, not in terms of smell, although I am picking up some of that too. So maybe a combination of the two with a little bit of Invictus Aqua thrown in. I like it. Really like this one. So here we have the bottle, and I actually really like this bottle. I love how it's sort of perfectly squared off, and it also has the Ferragamo buckle, the iconic Ferragamo buckle here on the top. Feels really heavy in the hand, and then you just have this sort of raised Ferragamo on the front there. So really like that. Let's take a look at the atomizer. Wow, fantastic atomizer. Was not expecting that from a Ferragamo fragrance. Wow, and okay. In the air, it is citrusy, bright, aquatic. Really nice in the air. Not bright, obviously being in the name, it is bright. Not necessarily picking up much leather at the moment, but let's see what it does. Okay, so immediately off of my skin, it is juicy, authentic citrus. A blend of citrus. Smells amazing, to be quite honest. I'm really enjoying that citrus note up top. It's a combination, it feels like, of a couple different things. It's a little bit sweet and sour at the same time, which I love. Could be a bergamot, something along those lines. Okay, so what I really like about this one, immediately, with all of that bright citrus, you have this subtle, almost vanillic undertone coming through. It sort of softens everything up. There's a creaminess to it. So far, no leather. It's really subtle. It's a little bit musky. This is nice. It's not really reminding me of anything necessarily at the moment. Smells like a really nice warmer weather fragrance. Again, despite leather being a note here, it's subtle. I am starting to pick it up a little bit. It's more of a soft suede type leather. It's nothing too edgy or harsh or obvious. But it is smoothing out a bit, and I'm liking this. Already I'm liking this. So here you have the classic Parfums de Marly bottle, very heavy bottle, nice presentation, shiny silver, heavy cap. Now, I do own a couple Parfums de Marly fragrances that are maybe two of my favorites in my entire collection, Sedley and Godolphin. Really beautiful leather fragrance. So let's take a look at the atomizer. Nice, nice atomizer. Okay. Wow. Yeah, this. Okay. Almond, immediately. Powdery vanilla. Unlike other sort of PDMs that I've tried or own, as I said before, has almost a slight perfumey undertone to it. So not that it's not masculine. It's one of the more unisex leaning fragrances to my nose, at least in the air on first impressions. And I think I remember that being the case when I first tried this. But off of the skin, it has a sharpness to it. That almond really stands out. It's a clean, musky feeling to it. Really, quite honestly, unique. Not something familiar. Doesn't really remind me of anything else. Definitely nothing else that I own in the collection. I really like it. And I remember feeling this way when I first smelled it a year or two ago. It's been a long time. There is some citrus there, some woods. It's a little bit of a dry wood. I can tell you right off the bat, right off of skin, the uniqueness, the quality here stand out to me. And already it's an intriguing scent. So I can understand why this one gets a lot of hype. It does get a ton of hype. It lives up to the hype for me. This is a nice fragrance. This could quite possibly be the best find of the year for me. Best rack store find of 2024. Again, it's hard when you own hundreds of fragrances, when you're testing fragrances all the time, to find something that stands out from the rest. Doesn't happen often. You know, usually you can make connections to other fragrances. It reminds you of something. I'm not finding any connections. The almond really stands out. That it almost has like this metallic note to it, along with that creamy almond, the dry woods, those clean musks. There's possibly some lavender in here. I like this one, guys. Parfums de Marly, Pegasus.